everyone. I hope you can hear us and see us now. My name is Monika. I'm SiteGround's Growth Marketing Director, and here with me I have Daniel. He's our Product Director, and you probably saw him on our last webinar. So, Danny and I, we've been building, shaping, and marketing products here at SiteGround for many, many years. And today we want to show you one of our favorite ones so far. It's called Coderick AI, and it addresses a real problem that we've been facing ourselves. So if you're running a business and if you have clients and if you have a website, you may have noticed that in the past few years, clients expect more. A brochure website is not going to do it anymore. People expect booking forms, they expect calendars, maps, all of that functionality. And how do you do it? You would usually hire someone, or if you're a developer yourself, you might need to learn a few new skills, which ends up costing a lot of money, a lot of resources, and of course, a lot of time. So, what do? You usually don't do anything, or you just postpone it until somebody else takes the light from you. Now we're happy to actually introduce a product that solves all of these problems, and that product is called Coderick AI. But what is it really?
Well, first of all, hey everyone, it's nice to see you again. And we'll be keeping the webinars for the rest of the year. And moving on to Coderick AI. Before I dig deeper into what it does and how it does all the magic that we're going to see throughout a couple of live demo examples, I want to take a step back and explain what is vibe coding, because that term exploded the last year, and it's based on generative AI, of course. So 3 years ago, when generative AI became really popular, we started playing internally. Everyone did, with building software through AI. We tried building interfaces, backend code, writing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But in the beginning, it was not so good. And the last 12 months, it improved a lot. So right now, you can ask AI through a chat interface what you want to build, describe your idea, and it's going to code everything for you. It's going to come up with the design, with the front-end code, with the back-end. It's going to come up with a database even when it's needed. And that's what exactly Coderick AI does. Coderick AI allows you to use a native chat, which we're all used to. We're all used to those chat interfaces nowadays. Describe your business idea, the website that you want to build, and it's going to do it for you in just a couple of minutes. But what is Coderick AI in terms of SiteGround? Like, we've been around for 20 years building hosting solutions and software as service platforms, and Coderick AI steps on the shoulders of our experience there. So it comes pre-packed with our security innovations, with our performance, and with pretty much anything you can expect from a hosting provider which is trusted. So that's exactly what we give you. We give you the interface that you can use to build anything you can describe, plus all the benefits that we've been working on for the last 20 years.
That sounds really good, but I'm guessing that people actually want to see some live demos. I did see a couple of questions asking whether this is a live webinar. It's as live as it could be. So if something goes wrong, please bear with us. We're just gonna work building live, so things may break. If they do, we're gonna show you how you can fix them and how we fix them. So just bear with us. Okay, so let me share my screen here. So first of all, if you're a SiteGround customer, you can try Coderick for free for 14 days, absolutely free. There are no auto renewals or stuff like that. You can activate it by going to your client area, going to Marketplace, and then click on Coderick. You're gonna see this informational page here that has some information on what Coderick is, what it does. There are a few templates that you can start with, and there are also the plans that you can choose from. You can go with the free one, as I mentioned. You can try it, see if it works for you, and if it does, you can later upgrade to one of the plans available. If you're new to SiteGround and don't have an account with us yet, you can also do a free trial. You just need to go to our website, then you go to website building, and you just click on Coderick AI, and you're going to see pretty much the same page. Here you can see all of the templates that you can choose from. We have some ready-made prompts that you can try. You just click on a button here, and it's going to pre-fill all of the information for the selected type of app or a website, because Coderick is not only building websites. You're going to see that in a bit. So, and if you are one of the few that already have Coderick plans, you can actually start a new project within one of your existing plans. This is what I'm going to do because I do have a Coderick plan. I'm going to go to websites, Coderick projects, and here I'm just going to click on a new project. So the first demo that we want to show you, it's it's a scheduling app. I have a friend who's a pastry chef. She opened this really nice bakery a couple years ago, and ever since she's been growing, so she started hiring people, more chefs, more waiters, and all of that. And at some point, she started to struggle with actual staff scheduling. So what you're using now is a combination of paper calendars where everyone would just fill out their shift and their wishes for a shift, or just a Google Calendar. This is not very convenient for them because they have a lot of different requirements and a lot of different specifics that would help them actually do a better job if they had an app that could fulfill all of their needs. I'm guessing that's the same for a lot of restaurants as well. So what we're going to build is, and I'm going to zoom in my screen here a little bit because I'm guessing that you don't see everything. We're going to build a scheduling app for a small restaurant called Lottie's Bistro. Lottie is one of my cats. I do talk about them a lot. I have to. So the second one is also going to be somewhat related with them. I'm sorry about that. But what's actually happening? We put this very simple prompt here. So what's happening behind the scenes?
So first of all, if you guys want to see more clearly, click full screen so you can have more viewing area.
I'm just gonna
Pretty
zoom
much
in a
see the
little.
chat and the preview. So what's happening here? A lot of things, to put it mildly, but generally speaking, what Coderick AI is doing right now, it's first making a plan of what it needs to do in order to build the application or the website that you want. In our case, we've said that we want a website which will be dealing with the shifts in a restaurant. So it's going through what it needs to build, a calendar, profiles for the people working at the restaurant, the ability to book your shifts or to see people's shifts on the calendar, and so on and so forth. And then when the plan is ready, it is going to implement that. As you can see, right now, it actually showed you the plan, what type of application it's going to build, if it's
I'm
going to
gonna
need,
zoom in a little bit
yeah,
more so you can guys read.
if it's going to need backend or it's simply front end. In our case, it's both. It also needs a database in our case, which it will set up automatically. And it's now writing the code, which we can see from the card in the chat window. It's going to write the front end, come up with a suggested design, which it will be based on best practices for such types of websites. It's also going to build the backend. And as I've said, input all the data into the database. Sometimes what Coderick also does is it pre-fills with sample data. We'll see if it's going to do it this time, but most of the time it does, to give you a quick orientation of what you can do around the generated application. I see that also in the chat someone asked what model we are using. And that was a question which also popped up in the questions that we saw before the webinar. So while we're waiting, we're actually using a combination of different models. We're using Anthropic models, so Claude, the latest versions of Claude, Sonnet, and also Opus for reasoning. And we're also using Google models for some other stuff, like part of the planning, part of the generation of some of the code. So it's a mix. Under beneath the hood, it's an agentic framework. So some agents are using some models, others are using other models. But at the end user doesn't really care about that.
Yeah.
They care about the end result. And here, Coderick is pretty much ready. at the end, it also gives you ideas how to go on with your application, what things you can improve and build once the initial generation is ready. And there we go. Right now we have our application, and Coderick in our case here decided it's gonna put it behind the login because it's gonna have personal information in there, people's names and probably phone numbers. So we can sign in and see what happens. You can also see in the chat, by the way, that it created the first initial version of the application, so it supports versioning as well. So if during your journey you want to go back to a previous version or make some other changes, you can do that.
Okay, so it did build a a web app, but I don't have the username and the password. So maybe I can just ask it here to create a username and a password for me. Will this work?
I'm not
Let's
sure,
try.
to be honest. We can try, or we can ask it to add a registration form so people can also register and give them that application.
Okay, let's try with username admin and a password. Lotties. Hungry.
In the meantime, while you are doing that, I want to also explain a couple of other things because people are also asking about it. So one of the questions is, how does credit usage work? And I want to cover that quickly. So whenever you're building something from scratch, the first iteration always consumes a bit more tokens than after that because you need to bring everything from ground zero. You need to build all the code for the front end, for the back end, for the database, and implement all of the features. And then making small changes or simply using Coderick AI as a chat, as in our case here, it consumes less credit. So we're gonna dig into a little bit more details later, but that's general rule of thumb.
So this one, because it didn't do what I asked it to do, and it's create an actual username. I'm guessing that it didn't consume a lot of credits. But
No,
now I'm gonna ask it to actually add a registration functionality for new users. I'm guessing that this one is gonna consume a little bit more.
yeah, this one for sure because it's doing database migrations on the under the hood. Again, it's writing some changes on the front end as well to show you the form to register for the website. So it is making a bit more changes, and we can also discuss here how it decides what is good for one type of business and what's good for another type of business, because sometimes you just give it a single prompt, which is one sentence or two sentences, uh, and it figures out stuff for you. That's based on the generic knowledge of the models that we use under the hood, and also based on what people are building throughout the platform. Yeah, I think
Okay,
that was quick.
let's try and create one. So that's gonna be you. It's at loris.com, and we're just gonna generate a password, or we're just gonna use a new one here.
Yeah,
Okay, creating an account.
there we go.
Okay, here we are. So we have the calendar, we have staff, so maybe we can add an employee. That's gonna be you again, Danny. So what do you want to do? Do you want to be a server, chef, a manager?
I would say manager, but
Of course you.
we've all seen the Bear TV series. So when you work at a small restaurant, you pretty much do anything.
Yeah, that's what managers do. And I'm not gonna put your phone number and email here because I'm guessing that you're gonna have a lot of fans after this. So let's just do that. Okay, so we have a staff account, which is Daniel, and we're gonna add a shift for you to see how that works. So maybe for tomorrow, and it's gonna be like an afternoon shift. Let's do, okay.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, where is it? Let's see what happens with it. Well,
Sometimes it happens. And
yeah.
in that cases, because it's a live demo,
Yes.
we can just ask Coderick to fix it, explain the issue, tell it what happens, and hopefully it's going to figure it out without too much hassle.
Yeah. like I mentioned, we are doing a live demo, and these things happen. So you can always ask it to fix it. You don't need to understand code. You don't need to understand databases. If something doesn't work, just explain it in your own words. And while Coderick is fixing that, I did saw a question in the app um, about whether Codric can only build apps. No, it can also build websites, and we're going to show you a couple of examples after this one. Let's see.
While it's generating, by the way, I see a couple of interesting questions in the general chat. First of all, guys, you can use the Q&A because we can easily sort questions and see your upvotes. But nonetheless, people are asking what type of language is it using to write the code. So on the front end, it mainly writes React applications. So it's mainly React code. It also uses Tailwind CSS. And on the back end, we are using for a database something called Pocketbase, and it collects all the information inside. And it also comes with a backend engine, so it's not writing a huge framework based on, let's say, PHP or Node.js. It's a lightweight backend service. So let's see if it did fix the issue.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so we're adding one for tomorrow. Still not appearing. Okay, well, we didn't expect that one. So what do we do here? Do we try and fix it again, or
We can try.
we could try?
With
Okay.
another prompt, we can also go in the database and see if they appear there.
Let's see that. Okay, so if we click to the database, it's gonna send us to the Pocket base. Okay, we have one here. We have a table for users. So this one is here. Daniel is here. He does an employee with a role manager. So we see this one here as well. And then we have shifts.
Shifts are
Okay,
there.
the shifts are here, but for some reason they were not displayed. So let's see why this happened.
I would say we can give it one last try.
Okay.
And then we'll see what happens.
Okay. I'm just gonna put it here. I still don't see the shifts in the front end. What's happening? This is what I would type. Like if you have an issue, and the way I'm doing it when I use Codric or when I use AI Studio, I would talk to it as I would with somebody who would actually build a website for me, because the more context you give it and the more clearly you actually describe what the issue is or what's happening, the better it's going to resolve it for you. Okay, let's see what happens here. So yeah,
it's gonna try to debug it. We'll see how it goes. But when such things happen, like the more details you give it, the better. Sometimes it gets the issues itself from the logs and the servers. I've seen this happening also. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, right now, obviously, it needs a bit more information. It instructs you to check your console, which will take some more time. So I don't think that, oh, we have now 3 shifts this week. At least it has displayed that there are 3 shifts, but that they are not visualized on the calendar.
okay.
Which doesn't really matter right now. I mean, obviously, they're in the database. It's a visualization issue. We're not going to bother trying to fix it anymore. And I think that that also shows something interesting, how in some cases you can't you can do anything with human in the loop sometimes. So I'm sure we can fix it with some more prompting, but we also wanted to show you something more. It's not just applications.
Yeah.
It can also build websites.
We will. I just wanted to mention something here because there are a lot of vibe coding apps out there, and you can stumble upon similar things with a lot of them. It's not very often. Like, honestly, for me, this is the first time that something is not fixed from the first prompt. But if it isn't, with SiteGround, you also have support, and that's not something that most of the other platforms have. So if you stumble upon something like this where you cannot fix it after a couple of prompts, drop us a line and we're going to help you out with this. Okay, so off to our second demo. You mentioned some of you mentioned that you wanted to do a website. So this one is going to be a combination of a website plus a little bit of functionality. The way you start a new project, usually you need to go again to Coderick projects if you already have started one and just click on a new project. It's not a good idea to try and have a couple of projects within the same actual Coderick entity because it's just not going to work. If something doesn't work, you can always delete it so you can use this slot for a new project. Okay, so I'm going to use my employee Coderick plan. This is quite a popular product within SiteGround. So all of us have employee plans, so we can build a lot of different things. For this one, I'm going to be using a longer prompt. The actual use case is, again, as I mentioned, I do have two cats, don't hold it against me. And one of them is still a baby, so we need to go to the vet for regular shots, checkups, and all of that. And every time we need to do that, I need to actually pick up the phone, call the vet clinic, wait on hold, then speak to somebody who doesn't know Kimi because it's not her vet, and then I need to actually book the appointment. It would have been much easier, and I'm actually thinking about proposing Kimi's vet to do this. It would have been much easier if the website of the vet clinic actually supported booking system that was built around pets. Because it's not just book an appointment with pets, you need to know what type of pet it is so you don't actually stumble upon several very nasty cats going to the vet at the same time and all of them try to claw each other's eyes. And also, it's very good for the vet to know prior the visit what are you going for.
You want to discuss shorter versus longer prompts?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, the bigger one, I actually did with AI Studio, but you can tell me which one works best.
Mhm. They work. They both work pretty good. And here's why. When you want to build something very specific, like what you just explained, where you want a booking form and you want what type of input elements you want in there. Like, for example, I'm booking for a cat or for a dog, and you want to have that specifically built for you, then you can go with a longer prompt and explain in more details the sections that you want to be created as part of the website or the application. And that's what you're going to get exactly. When you're not sure and you want to experiment, you can just give it a direction and it will come up with suggestions what to include in the generated website. So whenever you want something very specific to be created, go with a longer prompt, but focus on the business side of things. Like, don't focus on super small details. Like, for example, if there is an email address in the form, you don't need to tell it to verify that that's an email address, put a verification in the field. It's going to do that automatically. So go for explaining things such as I want a website which has 4 sections, let's say a homepage, about the company page, contact page, and then let's say a gallery if I'm a photographer. And it's gonna propose the style and layout and design for that type of websites, but you're gonna get exactly those pages that you asked for and the functionality that you described. If you have a general idea, you just wanna you're curious, you wanna see what Coderick will suggest, then you can use a single line prompt and see what happens.
Like with the booking form.
Like with the booking form, yeah.
Yeah, in here I've actually put some actual business requirements. So there are different type of pets that I want to be listed: dog, cat, rabbit, or other, because these are the most popular type of pets that my vet is taking care of. I want 30-minute slots because this is usually how long a vet visit is. I've also put a request for a clean, friendly design with soft green and white color scheme. As you can see, we like green a lot. So green and white is something that I would like to see on this booking form as well. You can always change it. We're going to show you how you can change design and how you can add functionality. Okay. But I think that we have like a foundation to start with. Okay, so This is the preview of my website. It's very basic because I didn't require a lot of different things. We're going to show you how you can create um, media rich websites in a moment. But let's see, because the main focus on this one was the actual functionality, booking an appointment for a pet. Let's see how this works. So my name, that's me. Phone number, we're going to put something here because it probably requires something that's going to be Kimi goes to the vet, but hopefully not.
Oh, cute. We have icons for the different animals here.
Yeah,
Awesome.
she's a small cat, and her name is Kimi Miaukonen. If you're a Formula One fan, you would know who she's named after. It's Kimi Raikkonen. He's a legend. So let's put regular checkup here and see how it goes. Next, we need to put to select a date. So I'm going to do Monday, and I'm going to select one of these 30-minute slots that I requested, which are in working hours, 9 a.m. to 5:30 to 6 p.m. Okay, and there you go. Confirm booking. Okay, she has an appointment now.
Are we missing a functionality here?
I think I am. So for me, because I'm very busy, I'm sure you are as well. If something is not in my calendar, it's not happening. So it would be really easy to make all of the pet owners' life easier to actually have an add to calendar functionality here. So I'm gonna ask Coderick to add it for me. Can we add an add to calendar functionality at the end of the booking confirmation? So I'm using Google Calendar. I'm guessing that Coderick is gonna add Google Calendar and other popular calendars at the form. But if you have something specific in mind, you can always do it.
Yeah, as we can see from the planning step here, again, every time you make changes, it goes through a short planning phase. And it also planned for other integrations. So we didn't ask it specifically for a Google Calendar, but it figured it out. Like Google is one of the most popular. It's also gonna suppose like to download an ICS file, which works with Apple Calendar and Outlook. So I think it's gonna code all of the most popular calendar integrations here. And that's again part of the awesome feature which uses the general knowledge of the models. And in that case, Coderick doesn't need to ask you, it just codes it for you directly. So now if we go through the booking,
Okay.
so you have
Me
to
again.
yeah, fill it out again. At the end, there should be a feature to add it to your Google Calendar.
Okay.
Or
Kimi
Kimi,
again. I'm
another
sorry. Yeah.
another visit.
Another checkup. All of these are already in the database. So, okay. So we're going to choose Friday this time. And it's going to be in the morning, a quick visit. Review. Okay. Everything looks
Confirm.
fine. Okay. So we have add to your calendar. And let's see what this does. Hey, that's my calendar. And you can see it's all pre-filled, so you can really easily add it to your own calendar. It's going to have the address of the actual vet clinic. We didn't provide any address, so this one is a template one, but you can really easily change it in Coderick. So this looks really good, actually. You can build a lot of different things, but we can also change things. And I'm feeling that, okay, we love green, but maybe we can play a little bit more with design. There are different ways in which you can change design of apps or websites built with Coderick. If you have something specific in mind, you can describe it with specific, like I want a purple header, or I want a I don't know, a blue color theme, or I want the fonts to be a little bit more italic or a little bit more modern. All of these things. Another thing you can do is you can attach a screenshot of something that you like, and you can tell Coderick, just do it like that. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you can just tell Coderick how you feel and see how it goes. Because obviously, I do love cats. I'm going to go with something like, let's make the design um, a little how do you say kidney? Let's try.
Kidney.
Let's try kidney and see what happens. There, like if you start playing with design, someone asked about credit. You can burn a lot of credit. If you're not sure what you want, I would advise that you go to actual websites first, see something that you like, or go through some Pinterest or websites that gather a lot of different designs. Find something that you really like and give it as a reference, because that way you're not gonna have to make like huge changes all of the time.
Mhm.
Smaller changes, they don't take up too much credit, but this one, which is like a very broad, what does kidney even mean? Like, but let's see what happens here.
I'm
Um,
very curious to see what paw prints, whiskers, and warmer, cozier color palette will be.
yeah, this is what Codric got from kidney. So let's see how this is gonna work. Um, so yeah, it's a lot of things that you can do, a lot of things that you can change, and it's quite a fun. We're showing you actual business cases that you can use Kotrick for, but a lot of people are using it for personal projects, and
Mhm.
that's really cool. So people are using it to build websites for their children's little league, for different teams, for fitness apps where they can track and compare their results with friends and family, for road trips, for many different things. You can do a lot of things with Kotrick, and again, websites, it's not just one of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
By the way, while you were building, going through the building process, I was scrolling through the chat, and every time I look at it, I see like 25 new comments, and many of them are questions. Someone in the history asked if we're gonna try to answer all of the questions. Like, we won't have the time today, but we'll do our best to answer pretty much all the different topics when we sum things up in the blog post that we're gonna publish after that.
We're gonna send you a follow-up email in the next a couple of days, and we're gonna combine all of the questions. We're gonna answer them along with a recording of the webinar, because a lot of you weren't able to join, and there was a lot of interest. So we're gonna send all of that after the webinar.
Mhm. So many people are also asking about the credits and how they're calculated, and when to expect like more credits to be consumed or less credits to be consumed. So a general rule of thumb here is that when you make changes that are related, for example, only to the layout and the design, that will be less credits because
Mm.
you're changing only what people see, but not the main functionality of the application or the website. For example, if I want to change some of the text on a landing page, that will be less credits compared to making a whole booking system or implementing an admin interface where you can manage the bookings once you have them. Also, when you create a new project, always the first iteration will consume more credits, sometimes double when you're making changes. Changing the whole design of a website, again, will probably consume a little bit more credits. And it's not something we can really predict.
Yeah.
So, if you want to take a better understanding of how credits are spent for a specific website, specific application that you're building, because it's kind of different for everyone, you can post your replies in the chat, and after each reply, it's pretty much real time. The usage section that we have there is updated, so you can see how much have been spent from the beginning of your chat. In our case here, by the way, that credit limit of a total of 400,000 is for all of the projects that Monika has built. So it's not just this one,
And I
because like
have
she
it here.
said, yeah, we've been using it quite often internally at SiteGround for different use cases. So yeah, the kitty design
I think it
is
broke
taking a
it.
bit more time.
Did I?
I don't know. I think it's still working, to be honest.
It's still working, because
Yeah,
that's a
there we go.
very unclear request. I'm not sure what it's going to produce either, but
No
let's
one
see.
is. No
Yeah.
one's safe from
No.
that design.
Okay. Oh my God.
Wow.
I love that. It looks very Japanese.
Totally Japanese, yeah.
It's very warm and it has all of these cute icons and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a crazy experiment, but it worked at the end.
It says the perfect here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
really cool.
you want to move over to our demo number three, which
Yes.
was a special selection one.
Okay, so last week when we sent you the email, we actually asked you what you want us to build. There were a few requests that you filled out that were very similar, and it was how can I rebuild a website with Coderick? So we're going to use an example from one of you. We're going to use a website that was already posted in the Q&A section because we want to make sure that whoever's sharing this is fine with actually sharing their website. So Todd Hutchison, sorry, um, he asked whether we can recreate a website. So the website that he wanted recreated is this one. Here it is. You can have a look at it. It's a really good website, by the way. It has a lot of content. It has testimonials. It has tables. It has a very long FAQ. This, if you're doing SEO, you know how good it is and how well this website is going to perform. So what Todd asked is whether we can recreate it with one click and then just go and change the copy. So first of all, again, for SEO, it's not a good idea to copy websites entirely. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask Coderick if it can create a similar website. So I'm going to go um, to my user area again. Just give me a moment here. Okay, and I'm going to do a new project.
So the website is about buying properties.
About real estate.
Yeah, in
And it's
Orlando.
Orlando, Florida. So I'm going to ask, can you create a similar website, but this time for Naples, Florida? And because you cannot simply copy and paste an URL in Coderick, it's not going to go and actually read the website. What works really well, as I mentioned, is actually attaching a screenshot. So I did create a screenshot here of Todd's website. This is the full page. I'm going to attach it here, and I'm just going to let Coderick do its magic and see what happens. So it's a good idea to understand how it's actually creating similar websites. Is it actually creating all of the functionality, or is it more of a what it sees?
So in this case, when we give it a screenshot of something and we ask it to build something similar, the AI model underneath the hood is gonna parse that picture and it will see both the content on the picture, but also how things are represented visually. So instead of just pasting all the text or explaining the layout and the design you want to achieve, you can give that as a reference. And what happens is that it will try to produce pretty much the same layout, but with content which is based on the text prompt input that we gave it. So this time it will be for Naples, Florida, and it can also automatically decide to build something specific for Naples, some visuals, for example. So when you give it a screenshot, of course, that's just a visual representation. So for example, if on that actual website you have like a pop-up screen for a CTA, or let's say another functionality, like it cannot decode it from a screenshot. So if you want something specific as a functionality, you can give it additional screenshots. You can attach more than one.
Or you can just tell it.
Or you can just explain it in plain words what you want it to do. So for example, if you want to have an FAQ and it expands and it's like an accordion section, then you can screenshot that, or you can also explain it. It's gonna understand it both ways. But providing visuals is really nice because it saves you a lot of time. You can attach more than one and combine them and tell it like on the first screenshot, you can see the first page of the website. Then on the second one, you can see that functionality that you need to code right now. So the result, I guess, would be something very, very similar in terms of colors, in terms of structure and content.
Well,
But
I think
focused,
that's for similar, yeah.
yeah, but focused on Naples this time.
You can also use it to actually do a new version of your website. So if you have a very old design that has never been updated in the past few years, for example, or something like that, you can give it a screenshot of your website, or you can just copy paste the content and you can tell it, recreate my website but with a modern design, or recreate it in a different color template or color shade, and it's going to do all of that for you. If you wanted to also generate a little bit of content, it's going to do that as well. But when we talk about content, it's good to work with something as a good example, because otherwise it may create something that is very off to what you actually need.
Yeah, and you can also use attachments in another way. So not only providing context to the model, but once you have something built, you can add a picture and tell Coderick, okay, I want you to change that picture that I see on my homepage with this one that I'm providing right now. It's gonna take it, it's gonna upload it to the server, and it's gonna change the code so that you see the proper picture where you want it to be changed. So you can use visuals, pictures for reference, but also to change content on an already generated website.
I just saw a question here. Is there a reason why you cannot input a URL and ask for suggestions for improvements? So Coderick is not going to do any changes on your existing website unless it's built with Coderick as well. So if you want suggestions, or if you want an audit of your website of what could work or what wouldn't, and then build it with Coderick, it would be a better idea to start with AI Studio. You have that, if you're a SiteGround customer, you have that included in your within your account. So you can go to AI Studio and you can ask it, can you go over my URL and tell me what do I need to improve to be ranked better if SEO is your end goal, or to generate more sales, or to make my website more enticing or more engaging, and all of that. Okay, so we do have a version of this website, but now for Naples. So let's see how it looks like. We have a very similar header. We have a contact form widget on the top. So this is a functionality that Codric assumed that we would need, and yes, we would. So why sell your home to us? There are actual pictures of properties. I'm guessing that that's what a property in Naples might look like. I haven't been, so let's see how this goes. It has Todd's phone number, which I'm guessing it took from the original website, and there are also testimonials, and there's the table that we saw in the first website, and you can see a lot of FAQ again, because it's really important. It was obviously a part of the original website, and you can do a lot of those. So depending on the region, for example, you can do different color schemes, or you can do different sections. Maybe people in different regions are more interested into different things as part of those websites.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do a lot. And actually, you can always ask Codric, because as I mentioned in answering the previous question, you cannot tell it to adjust or improve a website that wasn't built with Codric, but you can always ask it to improve or add additional functionality to websites that Codric built. So you can ask it, what should I add to make this website more converting, for example?
11 out of 10 points.
uh,
So yeah, in that case, when you ask it something like that, what should happen is that right now, Coderake should not generate a new version of your website because it doesn't need to. So it automatically understands that you're asking a general question and it's already replying back to you. And it has not spent almost any credits on that because no code generation has been performed, and it detected that you're just following the natural flow of the conversation. So right now it's giving you ideas how to improve it. I think it's plenty of points. We don't
yeah.
have the time to go through, but you can expect that from Coderic. You can just tell it like implement all of them, and it will try to implement all of those things at once. Or you can just pick one that you like the most and try
Or
to,
several.
yeah, or try to evolve that idea even more.
Something that I always do when I'm building an app, specifically because websites, I do understand. I've been doing hosting and websites for 20 years, maybe. But web apps, not so much, not all of them. So what I'm doing when I'm building apps with Coderick is I would ask it, what do I need to add in terms of security? Because that's really important, especially if you're creating an app that has to be behind authentication or behind a login form. It's going to list a lot of things for you that you haven't thought about. And the same thing goes with functionality. If you think that your website is, or your app in this case, is missing something, you can ask it, what do you think it's missing here or might improve what I already have? And it's going to give you a lot of meaningful suggestions based on a lot of different apps that it has seen throughout the web before.
Yeah. And I think that with that being said, we wrap up the three examples. But before we move to Q&A, we want to share a little bit more about the future of Coldrick, because what we're going to share, of course, is related to some of the questions that we see popping up all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start and you can jump in. Coldrick AI is still a new product and it's evolving very fast. And because we're using it internally, we are constantly building upon our needs as well. And one of the first things that we figured out when we started testing internally, and that was a couple of months ago, was that when I want to make smaller changes, like just changing text or colors, I don't want to use the chat because it's not that convenient and I have to wait like a couple of minutes for all the code to be regenerated. So what we're working on right now, and that will be the next big release, probably next month, is inline editing in the preview. So you can have a visual editor that allows you to click and change things immediately and save the changes without using chat messages and waiting for 2 minutes for
So
something
you're
to
not going to be
change.
spending any credits. You can just click on a button and you can edit the text within the button
Yeah,
itself.
or make it a link to a resource or to another website. So those type of changes that are very small will be not using any credits. And the other thing that will happen in the inline editor is that you would be able to select a single element with the mouse, let's say a section of the website, and use a prompt to change only that part of the website, which again will save on credits because it's not gonna analyze the whole code base of the whole application or website. And that is probably that's the first thing. It's already in development. The other thing is that Coldrick AI is still not functioning with third-party integrations. And that's the other big thing that we're working on. So when you want to integrate a third-party API, or for example, Stripe payment through a website that you want to code with Codric, right now it's still not possible, but it will be, because we know that that's a functionality that we need to add. And yeah, so let me just
A lot of
change
new
the screen
things
in the
coming up.
meantime.
A lot of new things coming up,
Mhm.
and we are also taking requests. So if you have something in mind, please let us know. You can drop a line at the blog post that we're going to send you a link to, and you can tell us what you've been thinking about. Or you can, of course, if you start using Codric, you can leave feedback within the actual tool, and you can tell us what you're missing, what would be a great addition to Codric, and what are your actual use cases that you want to use it. It's going to be really exciting to see all of the things that you're going to build after today, and we really hope that they're going to be something amazing for you and your business, or for your personal life. Because as I mentioned, you can do so much, so many personal projects, and all of them can be really exciting. We only have a few minutes, so I think we should go through some of the questions because there are a lot of questions here.
Yeah. So yeah, as I can see in the chat, there are other questions, and many people are asking about the fact, are we going to provide the code that actually Codric builds, and can you edit the actual code through a code editor? That's also in the roadmap. And as far as I can see, I'm gonna bump up its priority right now because people are asking a lot about it. So you should be able to edit the code again in one of the next releases to see it, to change it, and to download the application's code so you can run it locally or even someplace else. Because we're using open source technologies, that's not some proprietary software that we're building under the hood. And the other thing that people are asking, probably the most popular question is, can it edit and integrate with WordPress websites? Sadly, Coderick AI right now does not support WordPress integrations. When we do backend integrations, we might come up with some type of integration between WordPress and Coderick. But the good news is that we have pretty much the same AI integrated into AI Studio, which has a WordPress agent. And if you want to edit your website through AI and it's a WordPress website, then giving the WordPress agent a try is a great idea and testing it out. We had a webinar on AI Studio a couple of weeks ago, so you can check it out and try out the product. Again, there is a free version of AI Studio, and if you're an existing customer, try it out, connect your WordPress, and give it a go.
It's going to be amazing. So we did a few demos. This is only the beginning of what Codric can do. A shift scheduler. We had a vet clinic website along with a booking system. We did recreate a new version of a website. If thoughts in the audience, I'm really curious if he liked that or what type of website he would do himself. These are all three very, very different tools, all done in less than an hour. And if you've built a site before, you know that less than an hour is only the beginning of describing what you want to do. And the actual build, it takes weeks or months. And what does this mean for you? If you're a small business owner, this means that you can launch projects, you can update your website, you can build internal apps that would otherwise cost fortune. Like if you need a Salesforce or something like that, that's a really complicated setup, a really complicated integration. You can just build whatever you need yourself. You can just describe it, you can iterate on it, and you can do it really, really easily just with your words. So you don't need to have any technical knowledge. If you have an agency or you're a freelancer, you can do a lot of prototyping or you can do whole new projects quickly. You can ship them really, really fast. And you can also do functionality that you haven't been able to do before, like web apps. This means that you can actually extend your portfolio and you can service more customers. If you're a professional like us, if you're doing marketing or product design or project management and stuff like that, you can actually speed up a lot of your work. You can do a lot of prototypings. You can test different behaviors. This is amazing for A/B testing, by the way. You can do different landing pages and see which one performs best. And instead of spending hours on building those those pages, I'm sorry, you can build them in just minutes. Whatever you need to build, if you can describe it, Kotrick
You
can
can
make
build
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is that we're bringing the bar a lot lower compared to what you had to go through a couple of years ago to have a project up and running. It now takes literally minutes to kick off a project and days to make it working and fully available for everyone. And it's backed, of course, by the best in the industry with our hosting, which has been perfected for the last 20 years.
Yep. So start building and show us what you did.
See you guys. It
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure talking to you today and showing you Coderick AI. Bye. Have a
Bye.
nice one.